Morning everyone and welcome back to ICT for all. Today we're going to do the database task exam 2024 variant 1 paper 2. For this video I'm going to focus only on importing the data properly and creating the relationship between the tables. As you know, in Microsoft Access we have data tables and we need to import the tables into the software properly. Then we link between them. After that, we're going to create reports or forms, and that depends on the questions in the exam. Okay, for now, we need to learn how to properly import the tables into Microsoft Access database. So let us get started. I recommend you start with me using the source files in the video description. So let us get started. Work area, which is called student, the student folder. This is our work area. So in your work area in the exam, you need to create a Microsoft database inside your work area. So right click, new Microsoft Access database, and choose the location, which is student folder. Give it any name. I'm going to give it student, create, and then we start. We can make sure that we create it in the same work area, which is here, student. Then we start, enable content, and then we're going to start importing the data tables properly. So the first task here says, which is task 11, and the first task in the database, use database software to import the file J2421 child.csv. CSV, which is comma separated value, and this one, it is not an Excel file. It is text file. That's why it's used separated by commas. All the values are separated by commas. So how do we import external data? New data source from file, and we do not choose Excel, we choose text file, because CSV, the comma separated values, it's just a text file separated by commas for the values. Okay, so text file, so text file, browse, work area, student, and then child J2421 child, open, okay. Here it says delimited. So characters such as a comma or tab separate each field. So this is CSV. So of course we need the comma to separate the values. As you can see, we have commas here separating the values. So yes, next, don't change it, next. And the next window here, make sure that you take this one. The first row contains field field names. We need the field names. So the first row contains field names and separated by commas. Don't change this one also. Next. And next. Here we need the primary key. We need to identify the primary key for the table, which is a unique value to separate the records. Because we have lots of records and they have to be unique. So we need, like, for example, this one, 1, 2, 3, like this. These are the records. But we need to specify the primary key. By default, Microsoft Access is creating a primary key here. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 for the records. But we're going to check the question for the primary key. So here, before we check the data here, let us check if we have a primary key here. After import, I'm gonna go and check. And here, set the child ID as the primary key. Set the child ID as the primary key. So child ID, that means we're going to choose our own primary key. From the drop-down list, choose child ID. So the child ID is going to be our primary key, not the one that's created by Microsoft Access. And then before we tick next and finish, we need to now check all the data one by one for the data type and later for the display. For now, we're going to check the data type for all the data that we have here. So here, how do we check? Go to advanced and then first of all, make sure that the format for day, month, year, which is DMY, which is here DMY. As you can see, DMY, day, month, year. And then we're going to check it one by one for the data type, the fields and the data type. So the fields we have last name, first name, child, gender, all text. So text, 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 text till the gender here. So last name, first name, text, text, short text, child ID, and also the short text. There is an important something here I would like you to pay attention to, which is the primary key should not be duplicates. So for this one, for the index, so here choose yes, but no duplicates. So we don't want any duplicates in the primary key because it should be unique values for each record. So text, 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 the primary key should not be duplicated. So we're going to choose yes, but no duplicates. Okay. You can choose also no. You can choose no. And then let us check the next. DOB, date, time. DOB, date with time, which is okay. Reg date, which is registration date. Date time as well. Date with time, which is okay. Food allergy. So the food allergy, Boolean. So the Boolean food allergy, it says here long integer, which is not correct. We're going to choose Boolean. We don't have Boolean, but we know that Boolean means yes or no. So Boolean either just 0 or 1, yes or no. And then contact, text, text, text. The remaining 3 data types are texts. We're going to choose text, text, and the last one, which is here, contact number, short text. Short text. Before we click OK, let's check again. We have text, 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 text. We have to make sure that the child ID, which is the primary key, is not duplicated. And then we have date with time, Boolean for the food allergy. And then we have text, text, text. Then, OK. Next. Finish. That's it. This is our first table imported properly. You can check before you go to the next table. We have here the table, the layout view. As you can see, we have all the records and the fields. Before we move on, there is something you need to pay attention to, which is the display. We're going to go to design view, and then we need, from the design view, you need to check the display here. So date with time for the DOB and registration date. So here it says day, month, year, day, month, year. So day, month, year, we don't know which format are we going to choose for the day and the month and the year. And it is better to check quickly for any new field that we're going to import for the child. So you can check for any new field to check for the format for the date. And let us go down and check if we have a new field for the child. This is another table, 13, the report, a new field. I don't have here. Okay, so this one seems like a new record in the child table. And from this one, we can check. So as you can see here, text, 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 and text. So this one, text. Now we have the format for the date, which is day, month, and year. It should look like this one. So dd slash mm slash 4y's y, 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 and y. Day, month, year. We're going to format it exactly like this one to match this new record later. So this is later, not now, but we need just to check the format. So this is the new record in the child table, which we are going to do it later. But for now, we need to look at the format and copy the same format. I'm gonna go back. So by now we know this one, which is gonna be the DD, MM, and YY. If we did not have any new record, we would have just used short date or any date, because this one here does not specify any type of date format. Now, so text, we're not going to change the last name, the first name, the child, and the gender. Now we have here DOB. For the format, we're going to do it like this, dd slash mm slash yyyy. Also for the registration date, dd slash mm slash yyyy, 4y's, and then click here, save, and check. Now we have the correct format for the date for both fields. Let's go back to the design view and check for the rest. Now we did this one, we did this one. This one here says to display as yes and no. So yes or no. Let's check if it's yes or no. The food allergy, data sheet view. Unfortunately, this one here is not yes or no. It is checkbox. So how are we going to fix this one? We're gonna go to design view and then allergy. It says here yes or no, but we need to change the format. And it is yes or no. But it's still, if we do it like this, save and check, it's still check boxes. So Again, back to design view, yes or no. The format is yes or no, but we need to check the lookup values. And here it says display control checkboxes. We don't want the display control to be checkbox. We need to be text. So yes or no are text. So we need to choose text box instead of checkbox. Now save and check. So here yes or no, as you can see. And here we have the date correct format. Let's say do we have anything. We don't have anything else. So this is done. Now it says here you need to take a screenshot. So place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the fields, the field names, data types, and primary key. So design view, and then make sure that you put the pointer on the primary key here like this, and then take screenshot. Work area evidence, which were created in the first task. Before the document task, we created the evidence document, and this is step 11, evidence 11, step 3, 6, and then 11. Okay, so we're going to continue now importing the next table. Let us import the next table with the same steps. Import the file J2421 bookings.csv as a new table in your database. Okay, so the same steps. We're going to close this one, save and close. Import from external data, new data source, file, text file, CSV are text files. Browse, bookings, open, okay. Delimited, we don't change this one. Next, we need the first row to contain the fields, the field names. Next, here we have the primary key. We will check again for the primary key, if we were given a primary key or not. Use the field names and data types and create a primary key field called ID. So that means this time we're going to create our own primary key, which is called ID. Create a primary key field called ID. In this case, we're going to let Microsoft Access creates the primary key for us. So let Access add primary key, and it's called ID already here, called ID. So this is the primary key, it's called ID. Before we hit next, we need to check now the data types. So we have here text, session, child ID, and day. Session ID, child ID, and day. Text, okay. Date and time, start time and end time. Date with time, start time, end time, the session. Text, session, text. Okay. We have to make sure that here we don't have actually the primary key field, which is going to be added by Microsoft Access, and it should not contain any duplicates, but it's not here. It will be created after we finish importing the table. Now OK. Now next, finish, close. Check the child table. Now here we have the child, the bookings table. So we have, these are the booking tables, table, and we have the fields and the records. This is the primary key added by Microsoft Access, which we created, which is called ID. Now from here, design view to check for the display. As you can see here, the primary key ID, it is auto number. So it has to be unique for each record. Now we need to check the display here. So for this one, session, child, and day, we don't have any formatting, but we have formatting for the date and the start time and end time, HHMM. Okay, so the start time, we're going to choose the format HH colon MM. So hours, hour, and minutes. And for the end time, also HH colon MM. Save, check again, short time, and also this one's going to be short time. So HHMM is going to be short time for both of them, the start and end time. Save, and also check data sheet view. As you can see here, we have the short format, which is HHMM, and also for this one here, the end time. Okay. Design. So take a screenshot, place in your evidence, document a screenshot showing the field names, data types, and primary key. So we will take screenshot, make sure that you put your pointer on the primary key to be highlighted, and then here, take this one. This is showing the field names and the data types. This is also 11. Now, for the last part in this video, we're going to create a relationship between the two tables. As you know, the first step in Microsoft Access, we have tables, we import them properly, and then we create a relationship between them. Later, we use them to create the report for or labels, whatever we ask to do. But the first and the most important step is that we properly import all the data tables and we create also the relationship between them. Step 12, create a one-to-many relationship between the child ID fields in the child and the booking tables. So we have child ID in the child table, and also you have a child ID in the booking table. We need to link between them. Let us see how are we going to do this one. Close out of this one, save, close. Relationship from database tools, and then we have relationships. Click on relationships, and then double click for show the first show the bookings fields, and also double click for the child to show the fields for the child table. And we need to link between them from the child ID here and child ID here. They are same, so link between them. And then we need to check the type of the relationship that we have. It has to be one-to-many. So from child ID to child ID here, and we have one-to-many. Make sure this one-to-many, don't change anything here. Just make sure that it's one-to-many. And then we will be asked to take a screenshot for this one, showing the relationship. Step 12. So in the evidence here, we have 12. We're going to Control V to paste. I always recommend that you separate your evidence, their pages. That means for each page, just put one evidence to be organized and clear. So this one, the relationship showing between the tables in the step 12 evidence. Now here, how do we save it? First of all, we click OK and just close. Do not delete, just close from here. And it will say save. Yes. Again, how do we check that we have the relationship after we do it? So database tool, relationships. We have our relationship between the table here. Again, close. And that's it. We finish from step 12. I'll show you how to successfully create the report in an easy steps. And I'm going to walk you through all the things that you need to follow to make it correct without a lot of overthinking or just panicking or anything. So it is going to be easy and straightforward steps. And for this one, we're done for this video. So please stay tuned in for the next one for part 2 for the report, and then part 3 for the forms. Bye for now. Make sure that you like and subscribe for the channel for more videos like this. This is Awad Karim, the ICT and math teacher. So bye for now and stay tuned in.